loss of muscle, the people who are affected with this disease, they have many difficulties in leading a comfortable life. This becomes a struggle not only for the diseased person but their parents. Muscular dystrophy and DND, such disease, the affected children, they have very serious challenge of treatment, and it affects children below 5 years of age. And gene therapy and other medicines, they are very costly, and their expense is 2 to 3 crore per child. Such a expensive medicine, common and poor person can't think of, and because of lack of treatment, many children die. My question to Honorable Minister is that whether the government will think about gene therapy and DMD and SMA, cheap treatment can be provided, and are you bringing any scheme? And for this, under NHM, a dedicated treatment, whether you have any such scheme so that the needy persons can be given assistance. Honorable Member, I would request you once again, all new and experienced members, even if you have brought a question in written form, bring it in brief. And this is expectation from Honorable Minister that they will reply in brief so that we can take more questions. Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker, the question is related to infant, and the question has been asked about the rare disease medicines. This is not related to this question. I would like to apprise Honorable Member that for rare diseases, there is a special scheme run by us in the budget. 36 such life-saving diseases are there. We have given exemption, but the question which Honorable Member has asked, when we sit together, then we'll discuss about rare disease, but it is not related to the question.
माननीय मंत्री जी थोड़ी बताएं ये.
Honorable Minister, this is a concern of the entire House. Please, first thing is that the Honorable Member who has asked this question, so it reflected the sentiment of the House in tribal areas on maternal issues and checkups. Special attention is not given. I want to say that my health department and all the states, we work together and we are doing very well, about which my colleague has replied that our MMR, maternal mortality ratio, and IMR, infant mortality rate, and under 5 mortality, this is more than global decline. Our decline is double than global decline, and it has been possible because of multi-interventions which we have done. As Honorable Member talked about, tribal area, Bijapur, Kota, Narayanpur, Bastar, Dantewara, Gadchiruri. These are the tribal districts, the tribal districts of Odisha as well. If you look at the parameters of health in these areas, MMR and IMR and under 5 mortality, it's a declining similarly. That is why this sentiment should not go that tribal areas are not being paid attention to. I can assure on behalf of department that when we talk about allocation and vaccination in far-flung area like Ladakh, right from there to Gadchiruri to Basta, all these areas come under that scheme. On our staff, they go and they help them.
शाम्भवी चालू है माइक.
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय.
Honorable Speaker, sir. First of all, I'm thankful to the government, and I would like to congratulate that because of the efforts of their schemes and infant mortality rate is declining, is 33 per lakh live birth, I would like to draw attention about towards cervical rate, which is the cause of mortality rate. Honorable President in her address had said that 9 crore women have been screened for cervical cancer. In the finance minister had said that human papilloma virus vaccine will be given priority. My question is that cervical cancer, 20% women die because of cervical cancer. And WHO has also said that if vaccine is included in universal immunization programs, so the country will get benefited economically. I want that when you are going to include in universal program, it will help those women who are not economically empowered and they come from a poor background.
अध्यक्ष महोदय,
Honorable Speaker, this is the fact that cervical cancer is rising rapidly. Ayushman Arogya Mandir has been set up, in which the women who are below 30 years, cervical cancer screening has been arranged. The concern which has been raised by honorable member, I agree with her. And as far as this vaccine is concerned, the government is pondering over that. It is in the process. When any decision is taken, we'll apprise the House. And I would like to say right now that this is not related to the subject, but we can sit together.
Thank you, Speaker, sir. Through you, I would like to invite the attention of Honorable Experienced Minister and Learned Minister on a serious matter, sir. Sir, we have so many schemes. For example, Janani Suraksha Yojana, Janani Shishu Suraksha Karyakram. In my constituency, sir, last 2 months before one incident happened. That's why I bring into your notice that serious issue. One daughter of one named Anish, unka daughter, his wife has been delivered a newborn child with serious problems. The mouth cannot be opened. She cannot raise her hands. Basically, she is not in a position to live. Then the issue came into the media, public, everywhere. But during the pregnancy period, 4 times doctors advised to go for scanning. They done scanning. The scanning didn't find out any problem for this lady. Then why it is happened? This is the question. All over Kerala, that question rises. Government is giving fund. Enough fund is giving. She treated in the government hospital also. The problem is that either they are not caring much, or there is a nexus between the hospital and the scanning centers. Proper, this is not happening. This is become very, now that child is in a critical
Honorable
condition.
member, please.
Critical condition. My question to the minister, whether the minister has to put up any strong mechanism to monitor these schemes are going to benefiting on proper way to the concerned people. This one.
As I told that we have got a very robust system of monitoring. And that is why, because of that, the results as said, that is better than the global outcomes. Honorable member has talked about his individual case. I don't know about that individual case, but certainly if you can give me in writing, I'll get it inquired, go into the details of it and see what rectification can be done by the state government, state health department, because the execution part is with the state department. So I will discuss with them. You give me the details of that case. I'll inquire into the matter.
Question number 62, Srimati Lovely Anand.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. My question is, you just mentioned the question number, that is 62. The statement is laid on the table of the House. Honorable member, supplementary question. My question is that in the last 5 years, the production of fertilizers in order to achieve self-sufficiency, what steps have been taken by the government? whether the government has any plans to set up fertilizer plants in states like Bihar. If you have any scheme, if yes, then what is its details, and whether government is not keen in setting up fertilizer plants in the country because of cheaper prices of imported fertilizers. If so, the details thereof.
Manya Adhyaksh ji,
Honorable Speaker, sir, I would like to tell honorable member that our government, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, on 7th October 2014, we had taken decision to set up 6 plants, 4 in public sector and 1 in Ramagundam in Telangana, 1 in Gorakhpur, 1 in Sindri, 1 in Brownie, and in private in Rajasthan and in West Bengal. So in this way, almost in capacity of plant 12 lakh metric ton, we have decided to increase this 67 lakh metric ton has been increased in 6 plants. In 2014, it was 225 lakh metric ton through gasification. And in order to, while improving the energy, we have made 20 to 25 metric ton more, and 315 lakh metric ton fertilizer we are in a position to produce in the country. As far as the setting of fertilizer plants is concerned, that it's not dependent on the consumption. Rather, it is based on the availability of raw materials. In Eastern India, attention was not paid much. All these plants have been paid now in Eastern India, as far as availability is there and need is there. So we'll take it forward rapidly. Do you want to ask supplementary question? Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, sir, it's quite known that during seasons in Bihar and other states, farmers do not get fertilizers in time, and they are forced to buy fertilizers in black. And how to take stocks in time to the farmers. The government gives direct subsidy to companies, and this is responsibility of the companies to take the fertilizers to the farmers. But such companies, they do not take it beyond the railway racks, and the farmers do not get a stock of fertilizers. So what step government is taking? And in Bihar, particularly, there is dearth of urea, and this is the reason that we have shared border with Nepal, and people, they supply the fertilizers to Nepal, and action is taken against the dealer, and no action is taken against the vehicles. Honorable Minister, there is a ban. Honorable Minister, I would like to say to honorable member that from a department and agriculture and farmer welfare, we, along with them, date-wise, month-wise, week-wise, and area-wise, we decide that when and where and what quantity fertilizer has to be given, and accordingly we make it available and we digitize it. All these things are monitored in real time. As far as distribution of fertilizer is concerned, the many people create problems. We are in regular contact with the state government. Action is taken by state government, and state government do take action, and they ensure that fertilizer is made available in time. Dinesh Yadav ji. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. nano urea and other fertilizer is being made by government, and fertilizer making companies, they are supplying nano fertilizers. It can be done through a spray. And for a spray, the government is focusing on drones. The farmers are facing difficulty that since drones can be used for spraying, but in Bihar, small and marginal farmers are there who have 5 acre and 1 bigha land holding. So they can't do it through drone. And farmers need small spray machines. Whether the farmers will make such machines available to the farmers in Bihar, will you give subsidy? And why the fertilizer companies for they are not giving any advertisement for awareness, so that the farmers do not get information. Government is whether the government is going to put any pressure on the company for awareness program.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the thing is that the government does not compel anyone to use nano. We inspire others to use nanotechnology. And the second thing is that this question actually is a separate question about drone and spray. It is not very much related to the main question. And so far as I would like to inform the House that we keep on discussing about fertilizers. So I would like to say that if urea is provided for 266 rupees 45 kg, so 1617 rupees is the subsidy, and this is a subsidy of 1400 rupees per lakh 45. It is as per that. Please tell them the date of the urea, the weight of urea. 45 kg for 266 rupees. Jayaprakash ji, I am intervening for the reason that Jayaprakash ji was saying that we give it for 1300 rupees, and Pradhan Mantri ji has also, Prime Minister also said that it is on lesser rates. They were talking about urea. Now DAP, sir, is 1350, and I would like to say that, Honorable Prime Minister, when there was shortage of DAP in the international market since 2020, in the times of the COVID crisis, 1350 rupees, 1500 kg bag is being given, 50 kg bag is being given on 1350 rupees. And so the cost is 3000 rupees per bag, which means 1650 rupees per bag is being paid by the government.
धन्यवाद आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Through you, I would like to know from the Honorable Minister that in the past few years, in the recent past, my constituency has witnessed a shortage of urea in the entire area. So whether the minister would ensure that there would not be any shortage of urea. So I would like to ensure the House that there has never been shortage. There has never been shortage. Please listen to me. Please listen to me, and I want your help. I want your help that shortage is created. Shortage is actually created by some of the unsocial elements, and they want to control the market. And that is why I would request all of you that you are public representatives. You may confirm it from me, you may confirm it from the ministry. The rates and dates which are fixed, they do reach on those dates. So this is unnecessary shortage which is created, and they try to earn more profit. So state governments must be active, and the members of parliament should help us so that publicly we may brought such things to light.
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. At the outset, I would extend my thanks to the Government of India that in the past many years, Despite the international prices rising in terms of urea and DAP, the government of India is making the rates very stable. And so far as the Honorable Minister's statement is concerned, that they are going through a lot of planning, that how fertilizer should reach the agriculture department. So I just wish to say one thing, that when we speak of self-reliance, the raw material is brought from foreign countries, other countries. So how we can become self-reliant, and it is also stated that there is profiteering, which results in shortage of urea. So what action is being taken? I just want to know about that. The government of India keeps on making the state governments aware and the district magistrates aware, ensure that the urea may be on reasonable, may be given to the people on reasonable rates from the market.
Sir, the fertilizers and chemicals Travancore Limited is a pioneer institution in the country which produces fertilizers and chemicals. It was established in 1943, right before the pre-independent movement. Sir, my specific question is, this particular institution has been a backbone of the farmers of the country, and many times it has come to loss. But for the last 4 years, we have made consecutive 4 years, we have made profit. So for the last 1 year, we don't have a CMD. CMD is not appointed. When there was a CMD, the institution went on very well. Also, sir, what measures have been taken before the previous minister had promised a nano urea plan for the FACT. So will the measures be taken to implement the new nano urea plant? And sir, will the CMD be appointed very soon? Because it's a very critical unit which has been making profit for the country and providing a lot of fertilizers and chemicals to the
Honorable Minister.
And see what we can do. Certainly we'll do it. And as far as the nano unit, establishing a nano unit is concerned, please give me it in writing. The department will examine it.
Question number 63, Sri Anup Sanjay Dotre.
Question number 63.
Adhyaksha Mohoday.
Reply is placed on the table. Honorable Member. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I am thankful to Honorable Modi ji, the Government of India, that he has done a lot of work in terms of cotton research, and 500 crore rupees of budget has been developed. And then he has also kept a budget for developing the cotton seeds. And they have taken a very important decision that the cotton growers are going to get relief out of that decision. Around 10% to 20% of custom duty, which has been imposed on the cotton farmers, but this 10 to 20% of custom duty has been done away with the government, which is a great relief to the farmers. The Honorable Minister has also encouraged research on soya bean. So I would like to know that for export of medicinal and herbal plants, what is the ministry doing in this regard, and what is the quantum of these plants being exported to other countries? Mr. Speaker, sir, the medical plant exporters data is not collected and kept by the Ayush Ministry. Rather, it is being kept by the Agriculture Ministry. I would like to say that around 4,000 crore rupees of medicinal plants are being exported regularly. Mr. Speaker, sir, our Prime Minister, under the leadership of our Prime Minister, Shri Modi ji, since we have been exporting these medicinal plants, and since these medicinal plants have been developed, 17 to 18% of increase in the exports of these medicinal and herbal plants has been witnessed. And in many countries, we are exporting these plants. Supplementary. My second question is,
National organizations or countries related to conservation and sustainable use of herbal plants and medicines.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, लगभग पिछले 10
Mr. Speaker, sir, In the past 10 years, we have signed MOU with 5 countries in terms of export of herbal plants and promoting herbal plants. Vietnam, Bangladesh, South Nuam, Equatorial Guinea, Trinidad and Tobago. These are the 5 countries where we have signed MOU with these countries. And as we are also promoting these herbal and medicinal plants in our country, we are signing MOUs for promotion of such plants with these countries also, and we are extending our help and we to them, and we will be working in this field in the near future with them. Sir, as per the SANI committee report, 30% of the medicines are fake and duplicate. So what is the step the ministry is taking? We want to know that. Mr. Speaker, this is not a related question, but so far as the reply is concerned, I can say that the drug inspectors take sample from all the shops, and the laboratories are also given these samples. We test those samples and we take action, legal action.
Ganiben Nagaji Thakur.
प्रश्न नंबर 64
Question 64.
सदन के पटल करो।
Reply is placed on the table.
महोदय
Mr. Speaker, under the Ayushman Bharat card, as a result of serious diseases, the patients need to get admitted in hospitals, and even for operations, there are needs and requirements. There is a need for approval of health authority for these card holders. There is sometimes emergent need for operations, but the hospitals take money from the patients. Those who have money, those who can make arrangements, their operation is conducted. But there are many patients whose operation is not done because they do not have the resources to arrange the money, as a result of which they lose their life. So I would like to know from the minister that how they are dealing with such situations, such problems, and what steps the ministry proposes to take in this regard. Through you, I would like to give a detail of this scheme. Ayushman Bharat Pradhanmantri Jan Arogya Yojana. This is Prime Minister's public health scheme, which is the biggest world's largest health scheme. When the scheme was initiated, at that time, 5 lakh rupees of health cover was given to one family for 1 year. 15 crore people, 12 crore 37 lakh families got associated with it, and around 55 crore people, 40% of the population of this country, was covered under this health scheme. In this regard, I would like to say that in 2018-19, 37 lakh Asha workers and Anganwadi helpers were linked with this scheme. They were registered under this scheme. And when we had our government for the third time under the leadership of Honorable Modi ji, around 6 crore people of more than 70 years of age were again registered under this scheme. So more than around 1 crore people were at that time registered under this scheme. Now 8 crore 59 or 60 lakh hospital admissions have already taken place. So 8 crore 60 lakh people have been given relief by the hospitals, and 1 crore 19 lakh people applications have been received. That is 1 crore 19 lakh applications of poor people. Through that, this money has been spent for the poor people. 1 crore 19 lakh rupees of money has been spent for the treatment of the poor people. As you say that there are problems in terms of treatment, I would like to say that Ayushman Bharat scheme is a scheme where everything is being given free of cost. 1,961 surgical interventions. The arrangement for surgical interventions are there. There are 30,000 hospital empaneled hospitals, and in these 30,000 empaneled hospitals, 1,961 surgical interventions have already been provided with, which includes bypass surgery,
therapy, which includes other surgical interventions जो किए जाते हैं उसमें ये
so they include all sorts of surgical interventions. Even knee transplantation is also included in it. And if there is any specific case, then they may please bring it to my cognizance. I will look into it and we will discuss it with the state authority.
आयुष्मान भारत के तरह कई निजी
There are many private hospitals under the Ayushman Bharat scheme which are refusing for treatment of the poor people. And in order to handle this problem and to ensure treatment of poor people, what step the government is taking?
इसमें भी मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि
In this regard, I would also like to say that the central government is paying full heed for the money to reach the people. We have one fund which is on the state's assurance. The second fund runs on there is an XQ account between state and the center, and the third fund is given through direct transfer by the union. Sometimes we do not receive the share of the state, and that at that time we receive problems. But the government of India is all alert and aware, and they try to coordinate with the state governments, and digitally we are transferring the money well on time.
Done.
Thank you, Speaker, sir. I would like to know whether the government has plans to include economically poor persons in addition to BPL card holders under the Ayushman Bharat Yojana, the steps taken to address the shortage of doctors, resources, and infrastructure, and the number of hospitals currently empaneled under the scheme, state-wise data, and also, does the government have any plans to strengthen the infrastructure, facilities, and the doctors' availability, specialists in particular, to reduce burden on the prestigious AIIMS and NIMHANS institution? Thank you, Speaker, sir.
May I know your first question? What was?
Whether the government has plans to include economically poor persons other than the BPL card holders, sir.
ये BPL card holder के को नहीं दिया जाता.
This is not given to the BPL card holder. And this is on the basis of socio-economic caste census. The people who have been selected for this card, as I told you, that it is 12 crore 36 lakh families and 55 crore people. So this facility is provided to them. Even by profession, as I have already informed, that rickshawalas, thela-walas, vendors, bus drivers, truck drivers, auto rickshaw drivers, barbers, and shoemakers, and see by profession, rag pickers. So these poor people who cannot go to the hospital, who were not being able to go to the hospital, they have been included under the Ayushman Bharat scheme.
Sir, thank you, sir. The Jan Arogya Yojana is an important program, but it's alarming to know from the reply from the Honorable Minister that 1,114 hospitals are involved in the fraud, and the penalty for 1,504 hospitals has been levied. Suspension of 549 hospitals are there. Can the minister share the state-wise list of the hospitals which are on these three categories? And is there can the government, can the minister provide the list of the hospitals in Tamil Nadu, which is in that list of fraud and suspension and penalty hospitals? Thank you, sir.
I would elaborately give the answer accordingly. For this Ayushman Bharat, we have got National Anti-Fraud Unit, NAFU, and we have got states anti-fraud units. And for that, we always identify the suspicious cases. Here, I'd also like to share with the honorable member that we have got 57 triggers for detecting fraud. 44 are rule-based. For example, if a patient goes for a bypass surgery, he has to stay in the hospital for 10 days. That is the rule. If he is discharged after third day, then something suspicious is there. This is called rule-based. So rule-based, there are 40 triggers which digitally comes to us, and this is the methodology. The same way, the artificial intelligence and machine learning, there are 13 artificial based and machine learning triggers which work. We have got image analytics. For example, if a seizure has been done, a procedure has been done, the same photograph is given for another patient also. So that is also detected. So image analytics are there. 4 types of image analytics are there. Image classification is there. Optical character recognition is there. And deep learning process is also there. Having said that, this is a continuous process because there are people in the market who try to develop new types of frauds. And we also develop digitally new types of triggers to see to it that the fraud is detected and action is taken. And as you also mentioned that we have taken action against 1,114 hospitals. Penalty of 122 crores have been done. This is not a small amount. 122 crores is the penalty which has been enforced. Suspension of 549 hospitals. 9 doctors have been suspended. So, this is about a particular state. As you have asked about Tamil Nadu, I'll give you a separate answer.
Question number 65, question number 65, Shri Dr. Alok Kumar Suman.
Question number 65, sir.
माननीय सदस्य,
Honorable member.
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Honorable Minister has given me a detailed reply. I am grateful to her, sir. My question is that under Mission Portion 2, which technical upgradation has been taken place?
अध्यक्ष महोदय.
Honorable Speaker, sir. The question which has been raised by Honorable Member, sir, due to the prudent approach of Honorable Prime Minister, our government is dedicated to provide health benefits to women and child, and we are working in that line. And sir, if we talk about Anganwadis, we have to strengthen them, and we have taken various initiatives. And Mission Portion 2.0 has been launched for the same. From 6 nutrition is being provided to the children less than the age of 6 years, and to increase early child education and nutrition, money has been sanctioned, and 2 lakh Anganwadi centers have been sanctioned, and we are upgrading them, and we are providing infrastructure related facilities, LED screen and mobile phone and Poshan Vatika, toilet facility, and other such facilities like drinking water. And for the creativity and cognitive development of children, we have added some co-curricular activities and devices. So through these various steps, we are strengthening our early education system, and education and nutrition, both aspects are important, and more than 10 crore people, children have got benefit of it.
महोदय आंगन
Sir, in the construction of Anganwadi centers, whether the help is being taken from other ministries?
अध्यक्ष महोदय.
Honorable Speaker, sir. The question which has been raised by Honorable Member. Sir, for the construction of Anganwadi centers, many ministries are involved in this, and our Women and Child Development Women and Child Development Ministry is in convergence with various ministries, especially Rural Development Ministry is involved, and we construct Anganwadi centers and 8 lakh rupees under Manrega and 2 lakh rupees as per the provision of 15th Finance Commission and 2 lakh rupees through other sources. We are providing this money to boost the infrastructure in the leadership Honorable Prime Minister for the under PM Janman. We are providing this facility in 18 states and UTs. 75 tribal groups have been identified, and through this approach also we are providing 2500 Anganwadi centers are to be established, and 2000 Anganwadi centers have been sanctioned, out of which 1001 Anganwadi centers are functioning. 22,800 beneficiaries are getting the benefit, and along with this Pradhan Dharti Aba Gram Unnat Abhiyan is also being run, and 2000 Anganwadi centers are to be opened. We have to make them as Saksham Anganwadi centers, and we have to upgrade these centers, and we are coordinating with the various ministries and departments so that this benefit may be given to the people. Honorable Speaker, sir, I thank you for giving me opportunity to raise this question. Sir, I want to know from Honorable Minister to you that, sir, Anganwadi sisters are working in these centers, and this is a very comprehensive program to increase the salary or the remuneration which is given to them. If it is respectable enough, it should be informed. If it is less, if this is not the right remuneration for them, is there any program to increase their remuneration or their salary? Thank you, sir. Honorable Speaker, sir, those who are involved in Anganwadi or the Anganwadi workers, they generally they belong to the same area, and their services are taken for 6 hours. Definitely, they are working very well, and various state governments are also taking their services in various different ways. So we provide remuneration to them, and time to time we increase their salary also. And apart from this, we under Jeevan Bima Ayushman Bharat, and we are connecting them with such beneficial schemes also through various ways, sometimes 10,000, sometimes 15,000. They are being given such benefits by the state governments also. Sir, various states are also giving this top up benefit to the Anganwadi workers, and sir, this is not related to this question. I will provide you the details. How much is being paid by which state? Time to time, we are increasing this amount. It was increased in 2018 also.
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय जी.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Sir, through you, I want to know from Honorable Minister that to provide nutrition-related benefit to women and children. So, on every Anganwadi center in the Panchayat land, or and we want that the Poshan Vatika should be opened so that the this benefit may be extended to women and children. I want to know from Honorable Minister that how many Poshan Vatikas have been functional, and what is the target of the government in future. Honorable Speaker, sir, Mission Anganwadi Poshan 2.0, this is being run, and we are upgrading and strengthening Anganwadi centers. 2 lakh Anganwadi centers have been sanctioned, and for the construction of Sakshan Anganwadi centers and Poshan Vatikas are also there. There are some other infrastructure related facilities like toilet, drinking water, RO system, and we are giving all these facilities. And we are providing informal education to the children also, and we provide LED screen so that they can learn some skills through this LED screen in an informal way. And we have received some proposals of 2 lakh. We have given the sanction for this also. 15,000 sakshams have been opened. There are Poshan Vatikas in an Anganwadi center. If there is no space, we request the state government that they can provide some space where Poshan Vatikas can be constructed. So through these Poshan Vatikas, nutritious food should be provided to children.
अलीबाग महिलाओं का विषय है धर्मेंद्र जी।
This is the question of women.
Sir, I have come the ICDS center to this house. Minister has said that 40,000 has been modernized. The allotment is so less. It is not sufficient. The market price has been hiked very much. And another thing is, we can say that whatever from birth to date, everything has to be updated. Whatever the nutrition program has been updated. If that nutrition program is so critical that every time we are not in a position to give that whatever the workers are there, they are not in a position to do their job.
What is your question?
आप प्रश्न पूछा करें, भाषण नहीं।
Please raise your question.
যে বর্তমান যুগে যেভাবে জিনিসপত্রের নিত্য প্রয়োজনীয় জিনিসের দাম আগুন হয়ে যাচ্ছে, এত কম পয়সায় কিভাবে পুষ্টি বরাদ্দ করা যায়, কিভাবে পুষ্টিটা দেওয়া যায়?
ओके मंत्री जी।
अध्यक्ष महोदय,
Honorable Speaker, sir, as I stated earlier that the mission of Honorable Prime Minister, we are taking up it, and we are following the mission section Anganwadi mission 2.0 so that the better facilities may be provided to 10 crore beneficiaries, and we are taking up this program. And in 2023, the norms related to the calories and some norms have been decided for this, and honorable finance minister in this budget also announced for the same. The concern which has been expressed by the honorable member, so this is the same concern is of the government also. On the basis of market rate, we are providing these facilities, so provisions have been added in this budget also, so your concerns will be taken care of in future. But I would like to inform honorable member that you come from West Bengal, so
whatever the schemes are going on, that should be so many schemes has been name changed.
क्वेश्चन नंबर 66 डॉक्टर प्रशांत यादव राव पंडोले।
Question number 66.
ऑनरेबल मंत्री जी।
कल पर रखा गया।
Sir, a statement is laid on the table of the House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Sir, through you, I want to know from Honorable Minister that under Poshan Abhiyan and National Nutrition Mission by 2022, whether the government has fixed any target for the same. If yes, please give the details of the achievements made by the government through the said campaign. And in Maharashtra, Bhandara, Gondia Parliamentary constituency, the malnutrition like issues are very serious, and give the details of this mechanism and The details of the funds provided so far by the government to Bhandara and Gondia districts under the said campaign. Honorable Speaker, sir, in the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, our government is strengthening Anganwadi system and nutrition related facilities are to be provided, and we are working on the same line and necessary steps are being taken, especially if we see, as you have talked about malnutrition in 2018, this Poshan Abhiyan or the Poshan mission was started in 2018, and under this mission approximately 14 lakh Anganwadi centers are functioning. Sir, malnutrition is not a very small issue. We have many interventions to deal with this issue. So under Poshan Abhiyan, more than 1 crore programs have been conducted, and we are spreading awareness also, because awareness is also important how we can affect their behavior through these programs. So this is also to be seen, and we have to cope up with this malnutrition problem, and community based activities are also to be conducted, and every year under Poshan Pakwada like activities are also being run. Up to this time approximately 13 crore activities have taken place for spreading awareness among the people, and through these programs we are extending this benefit up to 12 to 13 crore beneficiaries, and through THR also and hot cook meal we are providing these facilities to the children. Honorable member, sir, as per the global hunger index 2024, out of 127 countries, India is on 105th position. This is a very serious issue. In the comparison of previous years, this is a very meager improvement. Our neighboring countries like Sri Lanka 56, Nepal 68, and Bangladesh, we are lagging behind from these countries also. So can we imagine malnutrition free India? Our neighboring countries are also doing very well. And can we improve this index? Can we provide justice to these people? And can we help the malnourished children? Honorable Speaker, sir, if we see the data of NFSH, as per the NFSH 4 data, it was earlier 38.4%. Now in NFHS 5, this is 35.5. So this data shows that in wasting also it is now 32. Earlier it was 35, and in the weakness index this is also improving. And portion, as per the portion tracker data, so many changes have taken place, and we are improving in this field also, and all the aspects are being taken care of, and we are noticing so many interventions through various ministries and departments, and we will definitely achieve this target through the intervention of our related ministries also, and we will definitely achieve this target. Please ask in short. Sir, I just want to ask that before 33 years, National Family Health Service was started, and underweight and wasting is not improved so far as it was required. Madam, my question is that the data which we have in our hand, 16 crore children was there which were less than the age of 5 years. We have collected the data of only of 50% population of children through Aadhaar ID, The data of every children should be kept so that we can provide them better tracking.
अभी जो सवाल
Sir, the question which has been raised by honorable member, changes are taking place on continuous basis in this field. Not only the nutrition and eating habits, sir, the behavioral aspect is also important, sir, through spreading awareness and through portion and other activities we are spreading awareness. This is not that the malnutrition is in the poor families only. There are some other children who are facing this difficulty. So we are conducting various programs and activities to improve the situation. We are very serious on your concerns, and we are taking various steps which will be improving the situation in future, and better results will be reflected in future. Question hour is over.
कुछ विषय पर
Members, on some subjects we've received the adjournment notions, and honorable speaker sir has not approved any of these notice regarding this adjournment motion. The papers to be laid on the table of the house.
माननीय जगत प्रकाश नड्डा जी.
Sir, Honorable Speaker, sir, with your permission,
Please, please.
I rise to lay on the table of the House papers mentioned against my name in today's list of business.
धन्यवाद जी. आइटम नंबर 3 माननीय श्री प्रताप राव यादव जी. अध्यक्ष जी,
Honorable Chairman sir, in the revised list of business today, the papers mentioned against my name at serial number 3, I am putting them on the table of the house, sir.
पद जयसु नायक जी. अध्यक्ष महोदय.
Honorable Chairman sir, with your kind permission, in the revised list of business, the papers mentioned against serial number 4, I present them on the table of the house. Honorable Chairman sir, with your kind permission, I am putting forth these papers mentioned against my name at serial number 5 in the revised list of business.
I rise to lay on the table of the House papers mentioned against my name at serial number 6 of the Ministry of External Affairs in today's revised list of business.
धन्यवाद. आइटम नंबर 7 श्री शांतनु ठाकुर जी. शांतनु ठाकुर जी.
I rise to lay on the table of the House the paper mentioned against my name, the serial number 7, in this revised list of the today's business.
धन्यवाद. आइटम नंबर 8 श्री संजय सेठ जी.
With your kind permission, I rise to lay on the table of the House a copy in English and Hindi of the papers mentioned against my name at serial number 8 is today's revised list of business.
आइटम नंबर 9 V Somanya ji.
On behalf of colleague Ravneet Singh, I rise to lay on the table of the House the paper mentioned against his name at serial number 9 in today's revised list of business. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 10, Srimati Savitri Thakur ji.
Honorable Chairman sir, with the kind permission, I rise to lay on the table of the House the papers mentioned against my name at the serial number 10 in the revised list of business today.
Item number 11, Sri Pavitra Margarita ji.
Honorable sir, with your permission, I rise to lay on the table of the House the papers listed against my name at serial number 11 in today's revised list of business.
Thank you. Item number 13, Mananiya Sri Jagat Prakash Nadda ji.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I rise to move that in pursuance of the rules 114, bracket 14 and 15, bracket 2 of the rules and regulations of Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, the members of this House do proceed to elect in such a manner as Speaker may direct 2 members from amongst themselves to serve as members of the Governing Council of Indian Council of Medical Research, subject to the other provisions of the said rules and regulations.
Thank you, sir. प्रश्न यह है कि माननीय
Question is this: the motion moved by Shri Jagat Prakash Nadda ji may be approved or not. Those in favor may say yes. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is approved.
माननीय श्री मंत्री किरण रिजिजू जी.
Respected sir, with your permission, I rise to move that this House to agree with the fifth report of the Business Advisory Committee presented to the House on 6th February 2025.
प्रश्न है कि
Question is that the House from 6th February 2025, the report, fifth report of BAC, which was presented in the House, whether we are approving this or not. Those in favor may say yes. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is accepted.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I rise to move that in pursuance of the Section 4G of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences AIMS Act 1956, read with Section 6 of AIMS Amendment Act 2012, the members of this House do proceed to elect in such manner as the Speaker may direct two members from amongst themselves to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences AIMS at Gorakhpur, subject to the other provisions of the said Act.
धन्यवाद जी. प्रश्न ये है कि माननीय
Question is that the motion presented by Shri Jagat Prashanara ji may be accepted or not. Those in favor may say yes. Those against may say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is approved.
श्रीमती कानीमुद्दी जी, प्लीज आप सब लोग बैठिए.
Please be seated. I am giving permission to Kanimoli ji. You may please go back to your seat. Please go back to your seat.
ये सदन का मर्यादा है. मर्यादा.
This is the dignity of the House. You have to maintain this. Please go back to the. You're given the chance. All of you, please be seated.
Please seated. Just a minute, madam. No, Babu ji बैठिए.
Please sit down, Babuji.
Seated, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
No, everybody should sit first. No sit. They are only standing. Please be seated. माननीय सदस्य.
Honorable member.
Fishermen from India, from Tamil Nadu, are being harassed and arrested by the Sri Lankan army regularly. Over 97 fishermen have been arrested and they are in Sri Lankan jails. They are being shot at. They've been tortured in unbelievable ways. Over 210 boats of the fishermen, which is the basic of their livelihood, has been taken away and it's been nationalized by the Sri Lankan government.
Yes.
And how will our fishermen live? Our Chief Minister been consistently requesting the Union government, the Prime Minister, to resolve this issue. But you have
your concerns will be your concerns will be taken up by the concerned ministry and the government of India.
And permanent solution.
जिन माननीय सदस्यों को
Those honorable members under 377 had been permitted to raise the matters. They may please submit their the approved paper may be given personally at the table of the House. On the general budget, the discussion starts.
Dharmbi Gandhi ji. Yes, he's there. You please be seated. Please be seated. See Dharmbi Gandhi ji. You start, please. Where is Dharmbi Gandhi ji?
Sir, thank you, sir, for allowing me to speak on the budget. I am thankful to the chair as well as to my party, which has allowed me to be before you and before the country to give my comments on the present budget 2025-26. Sir, before I go to a regular comment on the budget, I would like to raise a basic question that India is a union of states, which simply means that it is not our country, India, which carved out states, it means that it's the states like Punjab, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu or Bengal which submerged their identities and made this country. It's we who made India and not India carved out states. So states are primary, and our constitution makers and our forefathers have rightly said that there is a union of states. So I would like to say that this budget, the entire budget making process and the budget itself is unitary in nature and not federal. The states have either little or practically no say in making the budget, and the spirit of constitution is being trampled from year to year by the budgetary process. So, sir, if we look at the overall scenario,
MOS is sitting here. MOS is
the
sitting here.
states are primary. India is a diverse country. India is a country of various different identities,
MOS is
religious,
capable. MOS is
cultural,
capable.
linguistic.
Please be seated. Please, no, Benegopalji. Please allow him to. You please continue, please. You please continue, please. He is capable. Benegopalji, he is capable. Please. धर्मवीर गांधी जी आप बोलिए, आप शुरू की, अब कंटिन्यू कीजिए प्लीज. धर्मवीर जी आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए.
Please continue with this, Dharamveer ji. Kindly continue with the speech.
किरण जी एक मिनट. धर्मवीर जी एक मिनट. माननीय मंत्री किरण रिजिजू जी.
सर ये
प्लीज गौरव जी प्लीज.
एक मिनट. एक मिनट. अरे वो समझ गया ना, सुन लिया.
Please allow him to
I am just informing that MOS here, you have raised issue. I will inform the finance minister.
Okay.
Sir, Venu ji, Chairman sir, yes, okay, you have raised this issue. Let me.
No. Please.
एक ऐसा है सर, yesterday
हो गया.
क्या बात करते हैं लोग. Yesterday also finance minister came, waited, but the house
Please
was
hear him.
disrupted. Finance
Please
minister
hear him
was
first,
always
then.
there. You had disrupted the house yesterday. Just now you have raised this issue. I have said I will convey to the finance minister. In the meantime, you raise an issue, let me respond. No?
Please hear him. Just please hear him. As Benuji, please hear to minister.
क्या बात है?
Please.
सिर्फ ये
You will be
आवाज
allowed.
उठाते
Okay.
हैं,
You will be.
They raise the voice, but they don't want to listen to the response.
Minister,
Sir.
please hear minister.
Sir, I am informing this house again that finance minister was ready from the beginning, yesterday also, before also, but yesterday because of the disruption in the house, the discussion could not be taken up. Now the house is ready to take up the discussion. I will inform the finance minister. In the meantime, my only request is the honorable MOS sitting here, let the discussion begin.
Okay.
I will inform the finance minister.
Okay.
What is wrong in that? What is wrong in that?
Please. I have one sentence to say to all the honorable members. There is Benuji, you are a senior member of the house. There is no such type of rules that the finance minister should present in the discussion. There is no such type of rule. This is a convention. This is a convention only. So please, he already answered your concerns. And Mr. Gandhiji, please continue. Please, Benegopalji. Mr. Gandhiji, please continue. Honorable member Gandhiji, आप नहीं बोलना चाहते तो.
Gandhiji, if you don't want to speak, then we will call you later on. If you want to continue, would you like to continue your speech or not?
Gajendra Singh ji. Next speaker, आपको बाद में मौका मिलेगा.
You'll be given chance later on.
Please start. Please start.
धन्यवाद सभापति
He will be,
Thank you, Honorable Chairman.
please. Okay, please. Mane Gandhi. Okay. Anurag ji, please. Please, Venugopal ji, please concern your voice in 30 seconds. Please concern your voice. आप सब बैठिए.
You may please be seated. You all may please be seated. Venugopal ji, you can speak for 30 seconds.
Please. I am allowing Venugopal ji to raise his concern. He is a senior most member of this house. Venugopal ji, please. You raise your concern.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, with due respect to the chair, I would like to bring into your notice, sir.
Yes.
There are conventions in this parliament.
Yes.
Whenever a budget discussion is initiating,
Right. You are right.
I'm completely initiating. Honorable Finance Minister, who presented the budget, should be there in the house.
Yes.
Therefore, that custom. Therefore, if finance minister,
You
if finance
admit it,
minister,
this is a convention. This is not the rule.
Sir, finance
You
minister,
admit it.
parliament
This
runs
is
with the
not the
convention,
rule.
sir.
This is a-
Sir, parliament is run with convention. Sir, one point, sir. If
Already,
finance minister,
Honorable Minister has
Sir,
told
sir,
that
sir.
he will request
Sir,
Finance
if-
Minister.
sir,
She
my
will come,
point, sir.
Finance Minister.
Sir, my
Please,
point.
Anurag ji, please.
Manya Sabhapati ji. Honorable Chairman, sir. The MOS Pankaj ji is here, and we were in opposition. Then also the Finance Minister MOS, even during UPS time also, they used to be there, and they didn't have the logic. They're just shouting because of that. Instead of talking logic, they're shouting.
Start. Harambi Gandhi ji, please start.
Sir,
Please. He will request. Harambi Gandhi ji, please,
Yes.
please continue. Please continue.
sir. Thank you, sir, for allowing me to.
I have given my ruling that there is no such type of rule that the finance minister should present. Yes, you are right that there is a convention that finance minister should present, but she will come later on. Our honorable MOS finance, he is capable enough. He is sitting here. Please, Gandhi ji.
मैं आपकी भावनाओं
I can understand your feelings and concerns, and your feelings are okay. And I will ensure that whenever in future, whenever this kind of discussion takes place, then minister will be there when the discussion is initiated. So if you don't want to speak, I can just ask someone from treasury benches if you don't want to start. I have assured you. From the chair, the assurance has been given to you. MOS is here. You may please go back to your seat. Maharajji, please go back to your seat. I have assured you, and it has been ensured. Maharajji, Minister of State is here, and they have the collective responsibility in the cabinet. So this is not in the rules and regulations that the cabinet minister has to be there, and we are following the rules and the procedures, and the rules procedures allow the MOS to be here, and MOS is here. It's as per the rules and regulations. I have assured you, I have given the assurance. If you don't want to speak, then I'll call the treasury benches to start the discussions. I have clarified it in very correct manner. in the ministry, the MOS has got the same responsibilities as that of a cabinet minister, and nowhere in the rules and regulations it's mentioned that minister has to be there. We are just following the traditions, conventions, but you must not debate on this matter further. And please don't debate on this matter. You are a senior minister. You have been a senior minister. You can't debate. MOS is here, and many times when the minister has not been here and the MOS is there, the discussions have started. You must go by the rules and regulations. I am respecting you, and I have told you that I'm ensuring it. I'm giving this assurance. 25 examples I can present before you. I have listened to you. You can tell further if you want to. You can come to me and tell those things.
No. Okay. Maranji, please.
Maranji, please be seated. Kindly be seated. Honorable Minister of Finance is here. Minister has arrived here.
Gandhi ji, आपको allow नहीं किया, please बैठिए.
I have not allowed you to speak. Please take your seat. No, you are not supposed to speak now, honorable member. I have already named you. You had made comments while being seated. You do not have the right to interrupt like this. This is my prerogative, who will speak and who will not speak. So please be seated. Dharmir Gandhi ji, do you want to speak?
Budget, sir.
बोलिए.
Thank
Please speak then.
you, sir, for giving me an opportunity to speak on the budget 25-26. And I thank you, my party, also for giving me this opportunity. Sir, at the outset, before I go for my regular comments on the budget, I would like to address to a basic question that India, as per our constitution, is a union of states. And the budget itself and the entire budgetary process is not federal in nature, it is unitary in nature, and the states have neither been consulted exhaustively, not allowed to participate in the budget making process. So that this is anti-federal, this is against the spirit of federalism and spirit of the constitution. So here I want to say that India, our country, is not India that carved out states out of it like Maharashtra, Punjab, Tamil Nadu or Bengal. Instead, it is the states which submerged their identities and made this country. So in the budget making process, this entire concept of a federal structure is being mitigated, is being destroyed, and not being taken into consideration. And the budget is unitary in nature. You are homogenizing the country. Every state had its own problems, own specificities, own particularities in education, in health, even disease patterns different in many states. It is own needs and priorities. They are never taken into consideration. They are never consulted. So budget is made while sitting in the rooms, and the states are not exhaustively consulted in making this budget. This is my first contention on this budget, stating thereby that it is unitary in nature and not federal, number one. And secondly, sir, this budget is not just question of data here and there, some promises here and there. It's about the nature, how the present government is going to mobilize, is going to use our resources to benefit the people of India, to benefit the entire population. And again, going back to the federal character, I say that where the entire GDP is produced, it's the states. Where the entire resources of the country located, it's the states. Where entire wealth generation takes place, it's the states again. But when it comes to budget, nobody bothers about the concerns of the states. So country is not just a geographical entity. A country means the country itself, the geographical country itself. A country means the resources of the country, and a country means most importantly, the most livid part of it, the people of the country. That's 142 crore people of India. So budget means that it should be directed in a way so that the people of the country are given the benefits of the natural sources. Their suffering are mitigated, and according to the commensurating with the modern level of development and modern level of economic and human development in the world. And so this budget, I will comment from this perspective. So I believe that budget is not, it should like one that guarantees work for every hand, that guarantee education for every child, and for standard health care for every family, and where a farmer in the field, or a worker in a factory, or an entrepreneur in a small town, or a student in a remote village finds hope and opportunity, sir. In this context, and under these broad considerations and parameters, which include, of course, the inclusive growth, sustainable development, and future where fruits of development and prosperity is shared by all. So, sir, now let me talk on my first comment, that is agriculture. Sir, in spite of the fact that major part of GDP into 2025 comes from either manufacturing or from the service sector, and only 15% is contributed by agrarian sector. But the fact of the matter is that still agriculture remains the employer for 45% of our population. It is the employer 45, almost half of our population relies on agriculture for their livelihood, for their employment. So this sector has been neglected very badly, not during past years, but even in this budget. And this government has little to offer to the farmers and the farming community or the labor community of this country in this budget. And so the present regime has a very skewed approach towards the farming community and in favor of the few mega corporate houses, and therefore it did not offer any relief to the farmers as regard to the legal guarantee on MSP, waiving of loans of farmers and the farming labors, and not lifting or withdrawing GST on the farming equipments and machinery, and not giving a robust farm insurance or crop insurance scheme in the budget, sir. So it has totally failed to address to the grievances of our farming community. And there is a lot of unrest all over the country, which is evident from the ongoing agitations all over the country, and thousands of farmers are committing suicide every year across the country, and we're talking. So because the farming has become unsustainable and not unrenewable, it's an unprofitable proposition. So more and more people are going out of farming, and there is no industrial growth, corresponding industrial growth to absorb this surplus force, because of the government has not paid any attention on the development of MSME sectors, which can create jobs for the people who are leaving farming. So that's the result, that there is a ever-time high unemployment for the last 60 years in the country. It is a result of this gross unemployment situation that the sons and daughters of Punjab farmers, Haryana farmers, or Western UP farmers are going to greener pastures at the cost of their lives, and they are being humiliated the way they were sent back to Amritsar airport in a most humiliating and insulting manner. That shows that this government, which promised 2 crore job every year, has failed on this front very badly. and the youth of the country is in the total dark with total hopelessness, and they are compelled to leave their homes, their land, their parents, and go thousands of kilometers away to earn their livelihood. It is because of this government criminal neglect towards the farming sector and problems of the farmers, in spite of the fact that a long agitation took place where 800 farmers lost their lives, but it didn't concern our honorable finance minister to give some relief to the farmers. It did even pay a proper lip service. What all it did was it promised some paltry soaps like increasing loan limits without promising any real help to the farmer who's already indebted to the unsustainable level, sir. It is nothing less than rubbing salt on the wounds when it talks of quote unquote building and rural prosperity and resilience, quote unquote, by skilling and investment and bringing newer global technologies, again unquote. This is a plan more for a big agro corporation and companies like Bayer, Amazon, Google, and then a plan for debt-ridden Indian farmers, sir. So, sir, there are no provisions on the agro-based and value-adding industry in the regions of green revolution to capture global markets, as is being done by China, Israel, and many Scandinavian countries. There are no budgetary plans to mitigate the suffering of rural India. So this budget on the agrarian front is a total trash, total failure, and does not represent the aspiration of farmers, the majority of our Indian population. So, sir, because of the anti-farmer policies of the present government, as I already told you, that thousands of farmers are committing suicide every year. And further, because of farming being unsustainable and not a profitable profession, the farmers are leaving their lands, and they are not finding any suitable employment in the industry because industrial development is very sluggish and MSME sector is not developing at the pace where farmers can be, the surplus labor, surplus force from the farming sector can be absorbed. So the growth there is abysmal, rather negative. So it is a great crisis where our farming community has landed into because of continuous neglect of this sector for the last 10 years. Sir, now let me talk on the small and medium, small and medium enterprises, sir. MSME, I believe, is a backbone of our Indian economy in a country like India, which is very thickly populated. The labor-intensive industry, which can only be the small and medium-scale industry, the corporate sector is not creating any jobs. There is 10,000 crore factory. There are machines only, computers only. There are assembly lines. 10,000 crore factory generates 500 jobs, whereas jobs lie in Ludhiana and Punjab, for example, in Kanpur and UP, for example, and such hundreds of such towns and cities across the country where MSME sector has been regularly, continuously neglected at the cost of few mega corporates, and which is dying away gradually. And in 2024 only, 19,828 MSME units were forced to close because of this financial mismanagement and misplaced priorities of the government. The Congress during its rule had championed the cause of small businesses. It introduced priority lending to the MSME, a robust rural banking system, which the BJP has failed to sustain. The budget has precious little to offer for reviving MSME sector and through this reviving the economy, sir. And coming on to education, sir, health and education are the two basic needs of every individual born on this earth, born in any country. If we talk of education, right to education is a fundamental right of every child. I must emphasize here that education does not mean just knowing how to read and write. Education means full-blown development of a personal faculties, mental faculties of a person. It's not just primary or secondary education. So this aspect is being criminally ignored on which lies the foundation of a new
Again,
India
this word
by the
should
government.
Should expand. Off the record, this word.
So, sir, not by government is not spending enough on education as compared to US, China, and other advanced economies. There is a continuous neglect. The states are not consulted. Their specific needs are not being addressed to. And over the years, the government is seen running away from its responsibility to impart standard education to its children, to its citizens. The government, because of this utter failure of the government, there's a mushrooming of private institutions, from school to colleges to universities, from medical to engineering institutions, and which has rendered education very costly and not students not eligible. They are not able to. They have no access to these costly institutions, and only the poor, not only the poor and underprivileged, but they have become unapproachable or unaffordable for the various section of middle classes also. So it's not the poor and the underprivileged. Even the middle class now cannot afford the private education of universities, colleges, and medical engineering colleges. So here the government did not take enough efforts to expand the budget, to increase the budget on education in a significant way, so that this problem of young India can be addressed to. This is in sharp contrast to our times, when primary to university education was within the very much reach of almost all sections of the society, sir. On research and analysis again, which is linked to it, to education and development, I will say that very paltry sum of budget is allotted to the research and development in the key sectors, in the important sectors, the new technologies, which is 0.64% of GDP, significantly lower than China and Israel and other advanced economies. Sir, the private sector is not doing enough to augment the development story of India. I know very well. I was a young man when our corporate sector, Tata's, for example, did wonders for the development of the country. Nobody invests in fundamental sciences. Tata, they built Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Tata Cancer Research Institute, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, TIS, and many other institutions of world standard to augment Indian progress and to take further the story of developing India. But during last 10 years, no corporate sector that has invested significantly in the R&D or in the development of standard institutions of engineering, technology, and other new technologies to take India forward. So this is a sad story. I don't know why governments have special attraction towards certain corporate houses, why those corporate houses are not investing enough to take India forward on way to recovery of economy and take India forward put in the race for an advanced economy. So it really disturbs me, because private sector in India is only contributing 36% to R&D, whereas Japan is contributing 70 or even 70, more than 75% to the R&D sector, which our corporates are doing little on this account also. So the profit-oriented, these private institutions in in education sector are not only exploiting students and their parents, they are exploiting the teacher community also. The teachers from university to college level are not only very lowly paid, but they are also the very respected and reverend profession of teaching is being mocked at by giving them either ad hoc or this TECA type system, which is contract system, which is not to the standard of teacher community. So they have reduced teaching into like a daily wage workers, which is a slur on all of us, on this government and on this country, that is, teachers are not being given proper pay so that they can devote all their time in their profession and they can take the country forward, sir. So
That should be said.
the ongoing education system, moreover, does not invoke the sense of reason, inquiry, inquisitiveness, and scientific temper in our children. It does not fully unleash their creative and innovative potential. And health, sir. Finally, health. Madam Finance Minister, WHO long back gave a very great definition of health, very fine, very, very accurate definition of health. It states, and I quote, that health is not mere absence of disease or infirmity. It is a state of complete physical, social, and psychological well-being. So looking at all the three parameters of health, that is physical. If I talk of physical health, the problem of India are so great. We are deeply into a big problem. The physical health, because of chronic hunger, because of poverty, and because of malnutrition, lakhs of people die every year because of communicable diseases like TB, waterborne diseases like gastroenteritis, dehydration, and many other of the sort. On one hand, people are dying with the communicable diseases, waterborne diseases, and other hand, a small population is dying with lifestyle diseases like hypertension, diabetes, heart attack, dyslipidemia, and all that. So on physical front, we are practically poor because of malnutrition, because of communicable diseases, and because of waterborne diseases, and relatively affluent sections because of lifestyle diseases and the non-communicable diseases like cancer, accidents, and all that. So on physical health front, we are proven to be in a very bad shape. And sir, abhi to maine shuru kiya,
I just started speaking now.
So social front, even in the 21st century, the century of science, when we are living 21st century, our country is riddled with issues like caste chauvinism, religious chauvinism, gender chauvinism, and society is sick with all these medieval mindset, and we are behaving like a sick society of sick people who have a gender bias, religious bias, and caste bias, which is making our society very unhealthy one on the social front. Similarly, because of miseries, economic miseries, health problems, unemployment, the psychological health of Indian people is also very poor, and so all the parameters we are in a very bad shape, and government should take care of all these problems. They take into consideration and bring a robust healthcare system. Of course, they did talk of cancer care centers in 170 districts and increase it in a phased manner. Yet it did not talk of preventive cancer detection, mass cancer detection center, which not only will detect cancer in first stage where treatment is possible, it will not only save the life but save the economy of the family also. So I think the government should come with a comprehensive cancer detection campaign, and screening of the all target populations. For example, breast cancer in females, or cervical cancer in females, or the other oral cancer in tobacco chewers, and that target population should be marked, and their extensive screening program for early detection, early treatment should be started. Instead of just focusing on the curative approach, we should focus on the preventive approach on diseases like cancer and other such ailments, including the lifestyle diseases like blood pressure, hypertension, coronary artery disease, heart attack, and all that. We should go for mass education program and mass contact program to educate people, to make people aware of this problem, and work on the preventive approach.
Thank you, honorable member. Now I request.
No, sir, I should have 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Number of speakers from your party.
No, but sir, I am the principal speaker on it, sir. So, sir,
please conclude.
Ma'am, I will tell you that the disease pattern in a particular country changes with the conditions of that country, economic needs of a country. For example, one economic set conditions have one set of diseases, and another economic set has another set of another set of people. But India is embroiled in the both the sets for the poor, disease of the poor and disease of the rich. So we should take proper attention in tending to both the twin problems of health in our country. So, sir, on fiscal deficit, the government has patted its back for bringing down fiscal deficit by 2024-25 from projected 4.9 to 4.8, and further promises to bring it down to 4.4 in 25-26. But one has to ask, how is it going to be done? Who is being asked to tighten the belt? Given the hardship that people are facing today, given the dire condition in the economy, the first thing that a government should do is to increase the spending on social sector. Instead, this expenditure, especially on health and education, is either stagnating or even contracting relative to the overall growth of the government expenditure. The fiscal deficit is being controlled at the cost of social sector, sir. And this is happening at a time when only 2/3 of government revenue comes from direct taxes and borrowing, and only 1/3 is coming from income and corporate sector. Poor pay the GST and the excessive tax on petroleum. They are resented, denied help from government in education, health, water and sanitation, other basic services, sir.
Okay.
So, sir, the tax relief.
Thank you. Please,
The headlines
please
have been
complete
grabbed
in a
by
sentence.
tax relief.
Please
Sir,
complete.
and sir, I will go, sir. The unemployment, sir, give me 5 minutes only. Unemployment. India had and still has the strongest demographic dividend for being the youngest nation in the world, which means we have 600 million people, 60 crore people. That is equal to population of entire Europe, who are in the young working age group from 18 to 35. Such a huge population. Sir, this is young India, which has the potential, this aspirational India, which can open floodgates of development if given an opportunity to utilize the potential at the optimal level.
Thank you, honorable member. Thank you. Thank you.
No,
Please
sir.
conclude.
No, sir, please. Sir, please.
No, you have a number of speakers to
People, sir, and finally, people of India are reeling under unprecedented hardships and economic stress. The budget should always be an instrument in the hands of the government to improve the lives of the people. But we are no such, and especially
Thank you.
in such conditions.
Thank you, honorable member.
It
Now
should
I
not be.
call
But sir, it should
Sri
not
Rao
be. It should not be
Rajendra
aimed at.
Singh ji. Rao Rajendra Singh ji, please start. Thank you. No. Okay. Rao Rajendra Singh ji, please start. Please start.
धन्यवाद सभा. Thank you, Honorable Chairman, sir. With all humility, through my words, I would like to express my views that all the forces which were invented during colonialism, and it took out, and in order to tarnish today in this changed way, it is proving to be misleading for a decade. The government of India, under the leadership, the human resources and assets and motherland, the way it's giving relief, and it's putting on the path of development. Today, this House wants to welcome and salute. Honorable Chairman, sir, with all humility, I would like to say certain facts I would like to bring here. There has been an economist who in 2017 got a Nobel Memorial Prize. His name is Richard H. Taylor. He has extensive work on economics and what is relationship of a human being with the economy. He has worked on that. He has worked on behavioral economies, that you can't put the human man on the path of development through the quagmire of figures until unless that person accepts psychologically and feels satisfied that for his real development and progress and as per his expectations, the government has worked. In his words, I would like to say in this house,
socially desirable behavior, do not by any means let them know that their current actions are better than the social norms. A nudge, as we will use the term, is any aspect of the choice architecture that alters people's behavior in a predictable way without forbidding any opinions or significantly changing their economic incentives. Many
I quoted this because, Honorable Chairman, that through ideologies, through the ideology and thinking, this human resource, we want to put on the path, excellent path. If I say in simple terms, the budget, this account of budget which has been presented after 5 decades in the current year, the kind of arrangement which has been made, this budget is the most excellent budget. I welcome Honorable Finance Minister for this. The world is full of analysis. The people analyze and say the things in his own way, and to accept it and the limitation of debate is also there. So is the case of opposition, that whenever the government of India, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and the management of economy, when the government takes action to give relief to the common people, the opposition has parochial thinking, and the opposition does not analyze the figure of budget, and they try to define the economy in their own way. In such a situation, they just criticize, but still this budget gives a very positive aspect of the situation. I would like to say that knowledge which I have divided this budget in 4 parts according to my knowledge: poor, the farmers, and the youth, and the women. First of all, I would like to talk about our feeders. You please recall that in 1991, when the constitution was not even implemented, election was taking place in 1951. It came in 1950, but election took place in 1952. In 1952, after the constitution was implemented, just before the first election the first census of food security came. Per capita food security was very less. 7 decades have passed, and the fate of food security for 60 years was from 394 to 468.7 gram. It was confined to this figure only when the country got independence. 35 crore was the population, 394 gram was our food security. We crossed 100 crores and we remained confined to 468.5 gram. This is the current government. In the last 1 decade, they made 468 to 510 gram. I don't say that this is a great record, but I would like to, you will have to think that in up to 7 decades, if in every year, in 75 years, if in every year there was increase of 5 gram, then today it would have been 100 gram. But you talk about the farmers and the poor, you talk about the youth, and you discuss many things, but not a government came who wanted to change the dream into reality through the feeders of the country. I would like to say the way the system of farmers was the situation of the farmers was improved, and this was done by the government of India under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I urge upon you, I would like to request you that if we have to discharge our responsibility as farmers, if we have to show our our sensitivity to the farmers, then that human being, that soul who provides us with food through our religion, through our responsibility, we have to ensure that there is a light in his house, there is water, their children go to good schools, and all arrangements should be made so that he leads a happy life, and that prosperous nation can be developed when the farmers are prosperous. And I do accept that in this budget, through Dhan Dhan Yojana, the way the agriculture system which we have brought and we have implemented, so it's a matter that I should salute. Now I would like to request time and again, we talk about the physical health of the country, but Honorable Finance Minister is here. They do not have confidence in the system.
संकोच, संशय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर बैठा हुआ व्यक्ति भारत में निवेश करने के लिए आतुर। मैं उदाहरण देना चाहता हूं आदरणीय सभापति महोदय, इस पूरे 21वीं शताब्दी के ये पहले 25 साल में अगर भारत के अंदर जितना निवेश फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट के माध्यम से आया है, तो 2025 तक 1 ट्रिलियन,
more than $1 trillion investment is there in India. You will be surprised to know that in this 1 trillion investment in the last 10 years, that is 62% of 1 trillion which has come in 10 years in this last decade. And out of that also 46 billion has come only this year. The person who is sitting outside, who he believes in the investment, but the opposition of India does not have faith in this investment and economy, and they are hesitant and they cast aspersions. They talk so much about the middle class people, and what can be the bigger example than this? All the facts and figures are here, which I would like to put before you. The middle class, the concession which has been given to middle class, and the benefit which has been given by the current government. No government in the past has done it, and I want to prove it with figures. It's a comparative study, and only acquisition is made that many things have been given to the corporate world, and middle class people are harassed. What are the reality? What are the realities? I would like to say in the last 5 years, the individual income taxpayer, how much incentive, and they got 8,70,907 crore, and corporate got 4,53,329 crore. There is a year-wise figure. In 2019-20, we gave 94,000 crore to corporate, and individual taxpayer was given 1,55,25. In 2021, 75,000 was given to corporate, 1,28,244 was given to individual income taxpayer. In 2021, 96,829 was given to corporate, 1,61,566 was given to individual. In 2022-23, 88,109 was given to corporate, 1,96,678 was given to the individual income taxpayer. And 23-24, this is the estimate, 98,899 was given to corporate, 2,20,980 has been given to individual taxpayer. You let me know facts. The facts and figures are telling the reality, but the opposition is not accepting. The people who are doing this and the government of India needs all kind of appreciation for this. In the current budget, 12 lakh rupees income tax relief has been given to individual taxpayer. This is the biggest relief given to the taxpayer. I would now like to request you that the entire economy, if we look at the record, you will find that the government of India for the youth, what kind of arrangement is bringing for its youth. I would like to submit here with all humility. I would like to say
कि जितने हमारे सामने
that the records that we have with us, we may look into the World Bank records. The country director has made a personal comment.
Has been remarkably resilient to the deteriorating external environment, and strong macroeconomic fundamentals have placed it in good stead compared to the other emerging market economies. World Bank के डायरेक्टर भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था.
The director of World Bank is talking about the economy of India and is also making a comparison of economy of India with other countries and saying that it is much better and more promising and progressive. So this comparison is made. I had left one thing which I would like to speak on now. For the first time, the sovereign security of India has got a place in the JP Morgan and International Exchange, Security Exchange. We have been making efforts since 2013 and 2023. They have given us this permission. And in 2024, the government security bonds were traded. And after the trading of the government security bonds, the system that we have initiated, in these systems, the accreditation that we have found, it is up to 10 percentage points. 10% of weight has been given, which is applicable till 31st of March. So through HVR, the investment comes or through participatory notes or through direct investment, continuously there has been an increase. And if I present the quantum of this increase,
from 2014 to September, India received 784 billion, 60,24,500 crore, accounting for 68 to 68.69%. जैसा मैंने पहले उल्लेख किया.
as I've already stated,
most sectors and amending the Income Tax Act 24 to reduce taxes and abolish income tax. These factors collectively position India as a strong global investment destination, paving the way for sustainable economic growth. What more do you want from a government? If you are talking about statistics, let's talk about statistics. आंकड़े झूठ नहीं बोलते.
Statistics do not lie. The words that decorate these statistics, those words are not right. Your own conduct while speaking about the statistics or figures could be wrong, but the figures are not wrong. So the way the present government has taken care of the economy in 2024, since we had the government of the Prime Minister, and when the UPA government came to power, after Atal's government, Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government, it was 8.4% of GDP. And then what did they do? Annual Consumer Price Index in the first tenure of UPA was 9.1%, and in the second tenure of the UPA government, it was 9.4%. Financial year 2004 to 2014, the average annual inflation was 8.2%. And during NDA, if you see that the annual CPI inflation 2014 to 19, the first NDA one, it was 3.4%. They were more than double of us, and now they are saying that we are not doing well. In the second term, it was a little more, it was 5.1%. What was the status of the foreign currency, the foreign balance?
294 billion in July 2011 to USD 256 billion in August 2013. By September 2013, forex reserves were just enough to finance little over 6 months of imports, down from 17 months in the end of 2004 when they took over. Forex reserves to external debt ratio tanked from 95.8% in financial year 11 to 68.8% in financial year 24. आपके समय तो अर्थव्यवस्था ये थी.
This was the status of economy in your tenure.
Recently, India's foreign exchange reserves surged to a record high, reaching a new peak of 666.85 billion, and reserves saw an increase of 9.69 billion in just 1 week in the month of July last year. Now, this is not something that I have fabricated. These are books and international communities which have actually provided us with. Even if you go to see the present day statistics and go into it, India's current account deficit stands at 1.2% of GDP in Q2 of 25, lower than its long-term trend with support from Beyond Service Center, whose exports have grown to 11.6% on year-on-year basis. Fiscal deficit and revenue deficit being at a staunch 4.8% and 1.9%, with an estimate 4.4% and 1.5% in financial year 26 to come. It only denotes that the most of the post-COVID fiscal burden has been unwound, and India has a great chance of improving its sovereign rating, both being lower than pre-COVID levels. The reduction in personal income tax, of course, that I've already said, capital and revenue expenditure ratio, a key marker to judge quality of fiscal spending, is budgeted to increase to 28.4%, the highest in 2 decades. A great example of a fiscal prudence is Centre's outstanding liabilities in 25-26 are estimated to be 56% of GDP. Outstanding liabilities had declined from 52% of GDP in 2013-14 to 49% of GDP in 2019, that is prior to COVID. But unfortunately, the COVID led to a lot of other things. From 2019 to 20 onwards, outstanding liabilities unfortunately increased to 61% of GDP in 2021 due to COVID, and have moderated therefore, and is targeted to be less than 51% is targeted to be less than 50% by the time we reach 2030. Throughout the last 11 years of the government, there has been a consistent rise in contribution of direct taxes as a share of the total tax revenue of the government, and indicating a rising trust in the government, simplification of tax reform, and rising income levels. For the state of Rajasthan, an increased allocation of Jal Shakti Ministry from 47.95 crores to 99,503 crores in 25-26 comes as a boon, since the scheme has done wonders for the state. The Parvati Kalisan Chambal linking project, ERCP linking project, जो अब राजस्थान के लिए.
These are the projects which are now a lifeline for Rajasthan. It is such a system which is compared to the Indira Gandhi Canal project for the laborers, for the farmers, and for other workers. It is going to be very beneficial for them because it has been included under the national project. And I would extend my heartfelt thanks to the government and also to the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi.
मैं एक निवेदन और आपसे करना चाहता हूं.
One more request I wish to make.
Tourism, let's take how what the tourism say. The World Trade Council on Travel Tourism Economic Impact Report 2024. अगर आप उस चीज को देखेंगे,
if you look into these aspects, you would find that
बीच में वो आंकड़ा पेश करना चाहता हूं.
I'm just presenting the statistics before you, the figures.
Post-pandemic, with domestic tourism leading the way according to the World Travel and Tourism Council WTTC 24 Economic Impact Research. In 2023, the sector contributed over 19.13 trillion to the GDP, 10% above 2019 levels, and created nearly 43 billion jobs, an 8% increase from 2019. वित्त मंत्री जी के पैरा
75-76 speaks about the hospitality industry, tourism, and there's a detailed account. And I would also like to extend my thanks to the finance minister that in the harmonized main list, hotels and hospital industries, hospitality industries have been included, and under the 2022 Act, it used to limit these industries. And those industries, those hospitality, hotel services and hotels, they would be included under different services. But now that you have also indicated that, I would hope it from you that this ceiling will be removed and such activities may be encouraged, especially in the tourist circuits and 50 new districts. Under the infrastructure facilities, you would be providing that, madam. You would be removing the cap and limitation on this sector.
2047 vision targeting, sir. अब मैं सिर्फ आपको ये बता दूं, total
I just want to say one thing that
2019 6.9% change by 41%, 9% change of total robust, and the jobs created are over 42 billion. 42 billion jobs created. And this is reaching 44, will go up to 45. And with the boost coming through the budget, maybe it will surpass even the 50 mark. तो ये क्योंकि मैं यूथ की बात कर रहा था, इसलिए मैंने रोजगार की बात. इसके अलावा एक और इंडस्ट्री है, एविएशन.
There is one more industry, that is aviation. Before that, I was talking about youth. 1,700 new aircrafts have been obtained by the government. One aircraft, if it is obtained, 100 people get employment. and 600 people get allied services to offer. Now you can imagine that these are 750 of, aeroplanes. And if we have more 1050 aeroplanes, aircrafts, then how much of employment would be generated? So this is the arrangements made by the aviation industry.
मैं एक विषय और आपके बीच में बहुत आदर के साथ में रखना चाहूंगा.
One more issue that I would like to put before you is promotion of labor, automation industry. We have big industries, but the job is less because it is more the technology advancement takes place and it reduces human resources work, and then it is reducing in factories, etc. But there are certain arrangements where in hotel robots cannot work. Humans will work in hotel. It's a simple arithmetic that if we have one room, 2 to 3 people get employment and 8 are such who get allied jobs. So the way tourism industry is growing and aviation industry is growing, it is going to generate employment. And one or two more things I would like to speak about is green energy. The Honorable Finance Minister has spoken about it in detail. We have small reactors. Till now, we had reactors on 700 and more than 700. So now small modular reactors will be 300 or less. This has another arrangement, a big arrangement, that the Railway Ministry has assured that the rails would run on electricity or on such an energy which should be carbon footprint free energy. So the Railway Ministry has also, through the nuclear plants, provided for energy for the rail network. This is what they have conceptualized. On the basis of private partnership in nuclear plants, if you do the investment, then it is good that it will be done. Now, one more important thing is important here, should be mentioned here, is that in January 2025,
on the bright, and मैं ये इसलिए पढ़ रहा हूं कि जल्दी.
I am reading it so that I could conclude as early as possible.
India-US cooperation in civilian nuclear energy. Visiting India for the last time as US Secretary of State on 6th of January 25, Jake Sullivan noted that the US in finalizing steps to remove long-standing regulations that have prevented civil nuclear cooperation between India's leading nuclear entities and US companies. Consequently, the US Bureau of Security has removed the names of 3 Indian institutions, the Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, and Indian Rare Earths Limited from the entity list, representing a core component of the US export control policy intended to prevent proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. The entity list basically consists of names of individual business and organizations to whom exports of certain technologies and goods are restricted. This development came after US Assistant Secretary of State for Energy Resource Jeffrey R. White in February 24 termed the nuclear deal an important piece of unfinished business which both countries had a shared interest in. Now, these are the type of, we were agitating the other day on the foreign policy and how we are behaving, what we are doing. Now, these are, I'm not quoting from a political line. I'm quoting from a genuine issue which got resolved. We had this confrontation from 2010. Gradually, we have been able to resolve it. Just imagine 50% of your entire energy that is coming comes from an energy which creates a lot of carbon footprints. Even the others that come from also has a carbon. If we can do it, and if we can do it accordingly, I'm sure it will go a long way. There are a number of things that are happening. If I talk about the space industry, the space economy, we are the first one to give our country a space policy. 2023 is the one when we had space policy. Now we are entering into 100 satellites have already. It was 94 the last time when we met here in this house. Now it is 100. The Prime Minister congratulated the entire scientific world and the Department of Space and Research of what a wonderful job they have done. And these are commercially viable deals. We do it in much economical way than what the world does in this field. And I'm sure it opens a lot of other avenues and opportunities for the coming generation to go into space technology, to go into nuclear civil academic studies, and also adopt certain other issues which could create self-employment, or you create a knowledge which creates employment. These are the things which the budget has actually adheres to. I'm sure there are a lot of other statistics which the others would want to speak. So I don't want to dwell upon them. I've given a little brief of what it is. All that shines may not be gold, may not be gold. But what shines in the Indian budget is nothing but gold. That is how I want to conclude it. Thank you.
माननीय सदस्य श्री शिवपाल सिंह पटेल जी।
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय।
Thank you, Chairperson ma'am. Madam, first of all, I would like to thank the National President of Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav ji. He has given me opportunity to speak on Union budget. Madam, this is very disappointing to note that the Americans have insulted the Indian and the government has been insensitive in this matter. Likewise, China has also encroached on our area and many soldiers have been killed by them. But our government has been spectator on this issue. So they are taking us lightly. Such countries are taking us lightly. They don't take us seriously. Madam, you must have remembered our Delhi, Mumbai, Agra, and Ahmedabad. Namaste Trump was introduced. And Corona also spread out there. And then Donald Trump ji. In the second election of Donald Trump, Ab ki baar Trump Sarkar slogan was also given. And he used to say that Donald Trump is our friend. Even then, Trump government has insulted our country. This is a matter of grave concern. On other hand, if we talk about China, manufacturing and technological advancement, they have emphasized on this issue. And before some days, artificial intelligence software company ChatGPT, which was called Ajay by America, and it cannot be replicated. And this software has been sold out in the whole world and they are earning money. China thought about such software, India could not make it. China engaged some youth and a new AI software, DeepSeek, and they have shaken the system in the whole world. And America has been hurt for $1,000 billion. So this is called tit for tat. But our government has not thought on this line, and we are quarreling on this cow dung and Kanwad Yatra and the digging of some religious sites. When Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe visited India for many hours, he was engaged in Ganga Aarti. Perhaps this is the reason that such countries compare us with the conventional snake charmers and other such people. We should introduce new technologies and we should utilize new technological advancement and research should be promoted in higher education, and the budget on education should be increased. And education is important for all areas, and the government is decreasing the budget of on education, and we will be in the list of prosperous countries only when we prosper in the field of education also. And the poor is getting more poorer and the richer is getting richer. So this is the culture in our country. And our farmer and middle income group and small merchants who are in large number in this country, and they have not been benefited in this budget, and there is no solid program for employment for the youth, and unemployment will also increase now, and employment opportunity should be provided to our youth. Honorable Prime Minister boasts of many things in his speech, and there is a great chasm in uh, what they say and what they do. If we talk about Kumbh, government has spent thousands crore rupees, and still we are facing a lot of difficulties. Fire incidents are also there. Stampede situation is there, and the government is not aware of this matter. They are sleeping, and they talk about the nirvana and the moksha. It is happening in our country, and especially in the time of BJP, when honorable Prime Minister goes to any other country, when he visits abroad, he says that we come from the land of Lord Buddha, and he never speaks about Lord Buddha because he is afraid of taking his name. He knows that his party leaders will get annoyed. They don't want to give respect to Lord Buddha. And if you talk about the Lord Buddha circuit, there is no announcement in this budget. And the airport, which was constructed in Kushinagar, it has been stopped, and this is pending, and it could have boost the tourism in this area, and it could have boost the economy also. So I request the government that for the development of both the circuit, maximum budget should be provided, and Kushinagar airport should be started. We request the government that in the name of religion, the people should not be divided, and the religious places of other religions should also be protected and development, so that the good culture and fraternity would be developed in the country. And government of about make in India, but we know the reality. Make in India is just to say and just for the showcasing, because we know that maximum import is from Japan and China and America. We have been failed in manufacturing field, and they have dubious character. So I would like to utter a share.
शब को मैं खूब सी पी, सुबह को तौबा कर ली, रिंद के रिंद रहे, हाथों से जन्नत न गई। इस बजट में
Madam, in this budget for manufacturing sector, there has been no encouraging a new announcement, and we will be importing a lot. And honorable Prime Minister has said that 25 crore countrymen have been uplifted, and they are now above poverty line. So I want to ask on this issue, if the 25 crore people are now above BPL, then why we are providing free food grains? And if we talk about Jalnal scheme, pipelines have been laid down, but the water is not being supplied. Honorable Prime Minister says that we should not talk about the caste, and he himself says that I come from backward caste. My mother used to work in the houses of others, and I used to sell tea. He says so, and this government is not paying attention to the infrastructure related matters, and there is huge loss in GDP also, and the being rupee is getting devaluation, and the inflation is also increasing. Government has no proper planning for this, and common people are facing a lot of economic difficulties. For the farmers, there is no announcement of any new scheme, and on MSP also they are silent, and the farmers are not getting the cost, and the farmers are getting poorer, and the farmer is not going to get any benefit from the KCC loans also. So he will be under the burden of debt after getting loans. DAP and urea is in shortage when they sow the seeds, and the middlemen are selling these fertilizers on higher rates, and the farmers are not able to sow the seeds in time. So we request on the government to provide manures and fertilizers. Honorable member, please wind up. Ma'am, I have to speak a lot, but I think on this stage.
Honorable Chairperson, ma'am, and esteemed members of this august house, today I rise here not just to respond to the union budget that was presented by the Honorable Finance Minister for the year 2025-26, but also to expose the grand illusion it weaves, a mirage, a deception, or rather a golden deer budget. Well, all of you must be wondering, why am I referring to this budget as the golden deer budget? The 2025 union budget is nothing but a Marich moment from the Ramayana, an elaborate illusion designed to deceive. Just as the demon Marich took in form of deer to lure Ma Sita away, the NDA government has crafted a shiny, dazzling budget promising prosperity while hiding the economic catastrophe beneath. This budget might shimmer, but it's hollow as a treasure chest filled with air. It has flashy promises of tax cuts, economic growth, infrastructure hype to distract the common man, but beneath this illusion lies a brutal reality. Hidden indirect taxes, soaring inflation, slashed public spendings, and last but not the least, corporate giveaways. Just as Ma Sita was misled, the common people are being pulled away from financial stability straight into a fiscal wrecking ball. This government proudly proclaims no income tax for incomes up to 12 lakh rupees. But behind the scenes, they silently ensure the lost revenue is recovered through rising fuel prices, inflated service charges, hidden taxes on daily essentials, and the middle class, much like Lakshman warning Ma Sita, is skeptical, but BJP's propaganda and PR machinery is desperately working overtime to ensure that the common man and the people of this country still chase the golden deer anyway. What is given by one hand is being swiftly taken by the other. Just as in Ramayana, by the time people realize and recognize the deception, the economy has already been handed over to the Ravanas of crony capitalism, while the common man is left struggling to afford groceries, fuel, travel, healthcare, and even a simple movie night, all while being taxed for merely just existing. Madam, the budget presented by the NDA government is a masterclass in half-truths, half accountability, half delivery of schemes, and half-hearted governance. From half-built houses under PMAY to half achieve farmer income targets. The government continues to sell dreams while delivering only fragments of reality. Infrastructure projects remain half finished, welfare schemes reach half the beneficiaries, and their failed economic policies cater to half the population, leaving the rest in uncertainty. This is not a vision for developed India. It's a half-baked agenda wrapped in propaganda. Make no mistake, much like demonetization, GST, and the draconian farm laws, the full extent of devastation will only be visible when the smoke clears. I'll start with half-truths. So the NDA government in Maharashtra launched the Ladki Behan. Ma'am, the NDA government in Maharashtra launched the Ladki Behan DBT scheme for women in Maharashtra just before the assembly elections last year to use it as a political bait. Now with the elections over, they have conveniently started scrutinizing beneficiaries, thus removing 60 lakh women from the scheme. This is yet another Jumla running deep in your veins. And people see through this betrayal and they are watching. Another betrayal, ma'am. Before the elections, the government promised a legal guarantee for MSP. After the election, the promise have disappeared without a trace. Madam Finance Minister is here and I'm glad she's present in the House. She in her speech mentioned that, and she began her speech with a flourish on agricultural growth. But when it came to MSP, the one demand that every farmer of this country has raised, there was only silence. No legal guarantee, no relief from the crippling debt. Instead of waiving farm loans, the government has increased the Kisan credit limit, which essentially means handing farmers more debt than relief. Since 2014, and whatever data I'm quoting in the House, if the chair wants, I'll lay it on the table of the House before tonight. Ma'am, since 2014, in the last 10 years, there have been 1 lakh farmer suicide. That's one suicide every hour. These aren't just numbers. They're a grim reminder of a system that abandons those who feed the nation while they conveniently feed lies to the entire country. They boasted of digital India, but conveniently ignore the dire state of our schools. While flashy slogans flood social media, the harsh reality is PM Poshan remains stagnant, leaving millions of children without nutritious food. More than 50% of the children under the age of 5 suffer from chronic malnutrition, with 17% underweight, 36% stunted, and 6% wasted. A crisis screaming for attention. And yet, the budget for PM Poshan remains dejectedly inadequate, proving once again that the union government is invested more in headlines than hungry children. Another half-truth, before the elections, the NDA government or the ruling party, BJP, promised LPG cylinders for all. But in reality, 1.2 crore households, I repeat the figure, 1.2 crore households could not afford even a single refill in 2022-23 because of their exorbitant price hikes. This is not upliftment. This is abandonment. When people have to choose between a meal and a refill, their promise is nothing but a cruel joke. In 2019, the cabinet approved 8,574 crore for the census. Yet in 2025, today, even after 5 years, only 570 crore has been allocated in this year's budget. 5 years late and still counting. And this is not happening this year either. But why does this matter? Why am I talking about census? Because without a census, every policy, every income tax slab revision, and every economic projection is simply and just a blind projection and a blind gamble. The Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, Women Reservation Act, which was passed by calling a special session 18 months back in 2023, can't be implemented as its rollout depends on the completion of the next census and subsequent delimitation. Both are yet to be scheduled. The government seems to prefer running the country on guesstimates and propaganda. rather than real data, because facts expose their failures and they would rather keep the nation in the dark. As we look at the economy policies of the NDA government, one cannot help but see a pattern. And what is the pattern? Ma'am, the pattern is of a, or if I am to say, it resembles the tale of a reverse Robin Hood. What is a reverse Robin Hood? We know the story of Robin Hood, taking from the rich and giving to the poor. BJP has mastered the art of taking from the poor and giving it to the wealthy elite. So reverse Robin Hood. For instance, I'll give you an example. For instance, the waiving of corporate loans worth thousands of crores using taxpayers' money, while poor farmers struggling with small debts are left to suffer. The government claims to have no money to increase subsidies on essential commodities, yet it slashes corporate tax rates, giving billionaires an even bigger slice of the pie. This is not economic justice. This is economic favoritism at its worst. Then I talk about, or rather I'll come to half federalism. You know, all the members sitting in this house have never heard of this phrase. This is a phrase that I've coined. Half federalism. Why I say half federalism? I'll give you another example just to understand it better. Madam, in Bihar, BJP's ally, Janata Dal United or JDU, have 12 seats. That means BJP has 12 MPs in Bihar. And in Bengal, BJP has 12 MPs. BJP is in power in Bihar and BJP is not in power in Bengal. So Bihar gets bonanza, Bengal gets blockade. This is half federalism. Madam, not a single meaningful financial allocation has been made for the state of Bengal. This is a Bangla Birodhi budget. 1.7 lakh crore is still due to the state of West Bengal under various heads. This is a deliberate financial blockade, a calculated move to stifle Bengal's growth, prosperity, and development. West Bengal's spending due on Manrega to the tune of 7,000 crore still remains unpaid, depriving 59 lakh poor workers. The state has launched Karmashri scheme for providing employment opportunities to job card holders, paying 51 lakh workers from its own funds. The central government has not cleared 8,140 crores in housing dues for rural Bengal under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, depriving 12 lakh beneficiaries. The state government launched the Banglar Bari project last year in the month of December, providing housing to 12 lakh beneficiaries entirely from the state's own funds. Why am I giving you these facts? Because all of you, especially the members sitting in the treasury benches, must know, even though you have deprived West Bengal, the state continues to stand tall as a true testament, an example of Atma Nirbharata, where the mind is without fear, where the head is held high. Chitto jetha bhoy shunno, uchcho jetha shir. Hold funds and play politics with the people of Bengal and their livelihoods. Bengal refuses to beg. We build, we provide, we progress, we grow with or without their support. Bengal has more than doubled its export in the last 10 years. 57 lakh new MSMEs have been added, employing over 1 crore people. Bengal's handloom industry employs over 5 lakh workers, which is the second highest in the country. The state's broadband policy, formulated in 2020, resulted in investment of 7,500 crore in the telecom sector alone. Almost 3 lakh direct employment has been generated in IT companies. Bengal has over 88 lakh MSMEs, which is the second highest in the country. 1 out of 5 MSME are owned by women, which is highest in the country. 36% of workers in these enterprises are female, third highest in the country. Madam, come to health. India remains one of the lowest healthcare spenders globally, investing a mere 3% of its GDP, far behind China's 5% and United States of America's 16%. For a country of 140 crore people, this level of investment is not just inadequate, it's an outright betrayal of public health. The government has opened floodgates for 100% FDI in insurance, happily inviting foreign profits, but refuses to remove the crushing 18% GST on health insurance. So while the corporates enjoy free rein, the common man is taxed while they are fighting for their own lives. This is not reform. This is a rigged game where the poor and the downtrodden and the common people of the country are deliberately made to lose. Instead of strengthening government hospitals, this government prioritizes private insurance. Models like PMJAY, whose allocations shot up by 29%, essentially funneling public money into corporate pockets. Strengthening public health care could have benefited millions, but instead government chose to privatize healthcare under the guise of welfare. And if the government truly cared about public health, why has funding for mental health programs like National Tele-Mental Health Scheme has been slashed by 16%? Why is NIMHANS, which is the country's top health mental institute, facing budget cuts? The answer is simple. The government just doesn't care. If healthcare were a priority, this budget would be investing in real solutions, not just mere illusions. Under BJP rule, all of them combined, they excel in crafting headlines. But when it comes to hospitals, medicines, genuine public health investment, the reality is nothing short of an empty set. Madam, now I'll come to half minister. I spoke about half truths. I spoke about half federalism. Now let's talk about half minister. Because our part-time railway minister is also juggling between two other ministries. One is electronics and IT, and the other one is information and broadcasting. Running the Indian Railways, which is considered as a lifeline for millions, is not a side gig, madam. But under BJP, governance has become a multitasking circus, delivering half-baked results everywhere. Why I say this? Because from the time this government came in, they have discontinued the railway budget. What they have done for safety? How many kilometers have been covered under Kavach? Between 2015 to 2024, there has been 678 consequential railway accidents, where more than 784 people have lost their lives, leaving more than 2,000 injured. No wonder tracks are crumbling, the tech sector is struggling, and the media is drowning in propaganda. Then, ma'am, I come to half-baked answers. I can ask 50 questions or 100 questions to the government, but let me ask only 5. Why did you promise the people of this country a $5 trillion economy by 2025? We are in 2025 today, in the month of February. And looking at the rate India is growing, that goal will not even be achieved by 2037. Forget about 2025. Why did you slash funds for LPG connection to poor households by 30% over revised estimates? Why have you slashed funds for crop insurance scheme by 25% over revised estimates? Why has the Data Protection Board of India given only 5 crore rupees when the cost of running Parliament for a single day is more than 9 crore rupees? Why has the budget allocation for minority affairs have been slashed by 57%, decreasing significantly from 1,575 crores in 24-25 to 678 crores in 25-26? These are hard facts. These are data. Ma'am, now I come to half accountability. After half truths, after half federalism, after half minister, after half-baked answers, I come to half accountability. A government is expected to be 100% accountable. But this coalition government believes in half accountability. You all must be wondering, where is the other 50%? Well, that's conveniently covered by the Godi media. Because if you ask the media, according to them, this government is working 200%, is functioning at 200% efficiency. And in their world, in the media's world, there are no failures. Failures are invisible. Questions are forbidden. The only propaganda, the only policy is propaganda. Ma'am, let me make just two quick points to prove their half accountability. In price rise, the food inflation in 2024 averaged at 8%. In October, food inflation was at 14 months high. The bottom 5% spends 66 rupees a day, while the cost of 2 veg thalis exceeds 150 rupees. Household savings have dipped to a 50-year low. In case of unemployment, youth unemployment is at a staggering 45%. 3 out of 10 graduates today are unemployed. Under PMKVY, only 18% of the trained candidates were placed. Over 90% of the workforce employed in the informal sector lack job security and benefits. Madam, now I'll come to half delivery. Now let me present before you a few examples of half delivered services. Time and again, this government has misled the people, making tall claims, but has failed to deliver where it truly matters. I'll start with Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Launched with much hype and fanfare to promote girl child education and welfare, yet over 80% of the scheme's budget was spent on publicity rather than spending it on the actual benefit for girls. Then I come to Jan Dhan Yojana, bank accounts without bank services. Under the Jan Dhan Yojana, 54.66 crore, that means 50 crore, 54 crore, 66 lakh accounts were opened. But 11 crore, 58 lakh accounts remains inoperative. And out of this 54 crore accounts, 33 crore, 67 lakh accounts have balance less than 1,000 rupees. This is a perfect example of financial inclusion in paper, but financial struggle in reality. Ma'am, they spoke about doubling farmers' income, a forgotten promise. They promised to double the farmers' income by 2022. We are in 2025. But today, farmers are drowning in debt, facing stagnant crop prices, rising input costs, and no legal MSP guarantee. Pradhan Fasal Bima Yojana benefit insurance companies more than the farmers. Smart Cities Mission, hype versus reality. They promised over 100 smart cities, but most projects today remain on paper or are rather incomplete. Basic infrastructure in many towns are crumbling, while funds remain underutilized or diverted to beautification projects. They spoke about making in India. That means they spoke about revolutionizing the manufacturing industry. But what is the reality and truth of Make in India? More imports, less manufacturing. Local industry today struggles under the rising imports from China, inconsistent policies, and low capital investment. Instead of boosting domestic production, India's trade deficit with China has skyrocketed over the years. Unemployment, they promised about 2 crore jobs every year, but in reality, unemployment remains at a 45-year high. They promised houses for all by 2022, yet another broken promise. In 2015, a promise was made to provide every household a home by 2022. 3 years later, in 2025, as the deadline passed, millions still await promised homes, highlighting delays and unmet expectations. Pattern, if you look at the pattern,